What's up, everyone? Matt Gajewski here, back again with the Odd Shopper channel. And today we're talking Week 13 Maction. It's round 2, the Wednesday doubleheader. Before we get started, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all other content goes live. We are also brought to you by Bet365, and they have a deal right now where you can bet $5 on any game, whether it's a side or a total. You are getting $150 in the form of bonus bets. And again, that doesn't even have to win or lose. Better yet, if you head over to Odd Shopper, just the homepage of our site, hover over this Tails logo at the top, click this Get Expert Picks free. All you have to do to get an additional 1 free month of our Tails marketplace, any creator you like, is click this offer. It's the same one I just mentioned with Bet365. You still get your $150 in bonus bets, but you get an additional month of the Tails marketplace just by claiming this. The steps are right up here at the top. All you do is follow these. And best thing, if you take advantage of more than one of these promos, that's more than 1 month of a Tails marketplace. I can guarantee you this will not be around forever, so make sure you check it out before it is gone. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. You must be 21 or older to play in most areas. All right, so we have a doubleheader. There is one lone MAC game on the weekend. Unfortunately, this is the Wednesday slate. Hopefully you guys caught the Tuesday video. We're recording before the outcome of Akron-Kent State, the game everyone has their popcorn ready for. But we still have a good slate on Wednesday. Buffalo takes on Eastern Michigan to kick things off. This line's been moving everywhere. Depending on when you watch this, it may be stale in one direction or the other. I'm not sure. I personally think this could go Buffalo's direction, but right now you can find some +1s out there. There's a stale 1.5. That's going to be gone shortly. The total in the game currently sits at 52 points in most spots. So right away, let's talk total. 21 seconds per play. That's the rank of Buffalo. Excuse me, not 21 seconds per play. They rank 21st in seconds per play. Eastern Michigan ranks 27. So there's a good pace to this game. The problem is both teams play solid defense. I'm not sure they can exploit that. When you look at the injury situations for both teams, Buffalo should be healthier. They lost Nick McMillan at receiver way back when, the week 2 loss. Gabriel Arena has been out at tackle, and then they did lose CJ Bazile on the edge and George Wolo at defensive tackle. Those players might return. It remains to be seen. On the Eastern Michigan side, they've been playing with a lot of players out most of the season. Porter Rooks has been out at receiver, Dante McMillan at running back, Chris Mayo at left tackle, Blake Bustard at right tackle, Jamarian Wheeler at receiver. Throw line's a huge problem. They continue to use 7 players routinely on a week-to-week basis. A couple linebackers, Zach Malchan and JT Killen, have been out for a while, so at least they've had time to accommodate that in recent weeks. When you look at these two teams, I think Buffalo has some pretty significant advantages in certain areas. On offense, they're 97th overall. Eastern Michigan is 90th. I kind of buried the lead, too. This is the Cole Snyder revenge game. He gets to play against his old team. Buffalo has to come to town. But I do think there is a quarterback advantage on Buffalo's side. Snyder, he has a 60% completion. That's a little bit better than Ogbonna at 56. Yards per attempt is almost identical, 6.7 for Ogbonna, 6.5 for Snyder. But the underlying metrics are a little bit better for Ogbonna. He has 21 big-time throws, 10 turnover-worthy plays. Cole Snyder, 17 big-time throws, 13 turnover-worthy plays. And I think Ogbonna actually might have some better rushing than Snyder, even though they're averaging exactly the same 2.5 yards per carry. But then you look at the foundations for both of these teams. With Eastern Michigan down 2 tackles, I actually think the O-line might be better for Buffalo. That's going to be a narrow margin between these two teams. But I do think the skill position players favor Buffalo, with Henderson at running back, their receivers led by Snow. Eastern Michigan's had a lot of injuries at both of those positions. And Delbert Mims has not been as efficient as we thought transferring in. The other difference here is Buffalo has a stronger defense overall, and they're pretty good in coverage. They rank 18th there. This is the 54th ranked defense in the MAC. Eastern Michigan is 67th. And that doesn't even factor in the schedule these teams have played. I do think Eastern Michigan has run hot in certain contests. They beat Jacksonville State by 3, and they've played a pretty easy schedule to date. Their conference schedule has featured Kent State, Central Michigan with their backup quarterback, who they barely won against, Akron, and then the best data point is definitely the Toledo game. But otherwise, they got slaughtered by Ohio and slaughtered by Miami of Ohio. This Buffalo team has played competitive football against some pretty decent teams. They actually beat Northern Illinois in overtime. They did get blown out by UConn, but they also beat Toledo, lost to Western, as is the case in most of these games. This is a very volatile conference. So you see Buffalo like beating teams they shouldn't and losing games that they should win. But anyway, on the back end with the metrics, they do come out slightly ahead of Eastern Michigan in this spot. So that will be the side we lean to. And if you wanted to take a total, it would be over or pass. On to the second game. We have Toledo taking on Ohio. This is about a 1.5 to 2.5 point spread. Again, no consensus really in the betting markets on these lines. So depending on the side you like, you can find something. I think Ohio is going to take some money, but 44.5 total in this spot. Pace-wise, you have Ohio at 113th, Toledo at 19th. Very different paces. Two awesome defenses for this conference, two questionable offenses. And injury-wise, I think these two teams are pretty healthy. Austin Brawley's been out at safety for Ohio for a while. We just saw Toledo play Kent State, Central Michigan. Basically, it was the same outcome. They won 37-10. And they had a lot of players with limited snaps. I'm not sure if that's an injury situation or if they're just getting guys rest. Like Jaquez Stewart played limited snaps. Jadarius Perkins at corner missed. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren at safety missed. They've been pretty banged up in the back end. They moved receiver Jaden Dodden to safety in their last game. That went about as expected, which was horribly. So beyond that, when you look at these two teams and how they match up, I think you have slightly better quarterback play on the Ohio side. Parker Navarro has a 66% completion, 7.8 yards per attempt, 12 turnover-worthy plays. Tucker Gleason has his 61% completion, 7.4 yards per attempt, and 14 turnover-worthy plays. All those metrics are worse. And you have the far better rushing equity with Navarro, 6.3 yards per carry compared to 3.9 for Tucker Gleason. The infrastructure for both teams leaves a little bit to be desired, but the better offensive line also belongs to Ohio, 99th in pass blocking and 79th in run blocking. Toledo's outside the top 112 in both of those areas. Toledo does have awesome receivers, but the Ohio run game with Northwestern transfer Anthony Tyus has been awesome this year, and he's back from injury. So this run game should be able to get home. On defense, Toledo is very strong. They're 13th. They don't really have a weakness. They're 22nd in run defense. So it's not exactly a good stylistic matchup for Ohio's offense. But on the other side, Ohio is 48th on defense. I will say they are imbalanced. They're 102nd in run defense and 28th in coverage. I still think this team has a little bit of room for improvement. They're 16th in pass rush. So their D-line is also kind of imbalanced. It's weird to see some of these metrics for these teams when you're like 102nd in run defense, but 16th in pass rush. Some of that having to do with the blitz. But it's Ohio or it's pass. And again, they're on two road teams in the MAC. Fortunately, home field matters the least in this conference. But that'll do it. If you have a comment, please leave it below. Would love to hear if I missed anything. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me on Twitter at Matt_Gajewski. My DMs are open. Until next time, good luck, everyone. We'll see you later.